Have you ever seen those adorable pictures of sea otters floating on their backs, holding hands with each other? It's one of the cutest sights in the animal kingdom, but it's not just for a sweet photo op. There's a really important reason behind this hand-holding behavior, and it tells us a lot about how these amazing animals survive in the wild. So, why do they do it? The primary reason sea otters hold hands is to keep from drifting away from each other while they're sleeping. Imagine you're a sea otter living in the vast, open ocean. You spend most of your life in the water, including when you need to rest. You can't just anchor yourself to the seabed. When you doze off, the ocean currents and waves can easily carry you away, separating you from your group. This is especially dangerous for mothers and their pups. By holding hands, or rafting up as it's called, they create a living, floating raft that's much more stable and less likely to be broken apart by the water's movement. It's a simple, yet brilliant, survival strategy. This group is called a raft, and it can consist of anywhere from just a pair of otters to over 100 individuals. Sometimes, you'll see massive rafts with hundreds, even thousands of otters all floating together. These large groups are usually segregated by sex, so you'll have rafts of all males and rafts of females with their pups. Holding hands ensures the whole group stays together, providing safety in numbers. If a predator, like a great white shark or a bald eagle, approaches, being in a large group means there are more eyes to spot the danger and alert everyone else. It's much harder for a predator to single out an individual from a tightly knit group. But it's not just about holding hands with each other. Sea otters have another clever trick up their furry sleeves. They also use kelp, those long, seaweed-like plants that grow up from the ocean floor to form dense underwater forests. An otter will often wrap itself, and its pup, if it has one, in long strands of kelp before going to sleep. This acts like a natural seatbelt, tethering them to the kelp forest and preventing them from being swept out to sea by strong currents or during a storm. So whether it's holding hands with a friend or wrapping up in a kelp blanket, it's all about staying put and staying safe. Let's talk a bit more about the mother and pup bond, because this is where hand-holding becomes incredibly important. A mother sea otter and her pup have an extremely close relationship. For the first 5 to 7 months of its life, a pup is completely dependent on its mother. The mother carries her pup on her belly, grooms it constantly to keep its fur waterproof and warm, and teaches it how to find food and crack open shells. When it's time to rest, the mother can't just leave her pup floating alone. She'll hold it on her chest, or they'll float side by side, holding paws to make sure her little one is always safe and close by. If the mother needs to dive for food, she might leave the pup floating on the surface for a short time, sometimes wrapped in kelp for extra security. But as soon as she resurfaces, she'll call for her pup and they'll be reunited. This constant physical contact is crucial for the pup's survival. Now, you might be wondering, what about when they're not sleeping? Do they still hold hands? While the primary function is for rafting during rest, this behavior is part of their broader social nature. Sea otters are very social and playful animals. They interact with each other in many ways, including vocalizing with a wide range of chirps, whistles, and even screams. Hand-holding, or paw-touching, can also be a part of these social interactions when they are awake, reinforcing social bonds within the raft. It's a way of staying connected, literally, with their community. Think of it like a human family holding hands while walking down the street. It's a sign of connection and togetherness. It's fascinating to think about how this behavior evolved. Sea otters are a member of the weasel family, and they are the smallest marine mammal in North America. Unlike whales or seals, they don't have a thick layer of blubber to keep them warm in the cold Pacific waters. Instead, they rely on their incredibly dense fur. In fact, sea otters have the densest fur of any animal on Earth, with up to 1 million hairs per square inch. This fur traps a layer of air against their skin, which acts as insulation. Keeping this fur clean and fluffed up is a matter of life and death, and they spend hours every day grooming themselves. Because they are so vulnerable to the cold, staying together in a raft also helps them conserve body heat. Huddling together, even on the water's surface, can provide some extra warmth. The life of a sea otter is a delicate balance. They need to eat a lot, about 25% of their body weight every day, to fuel their high metabolism and stay warm. This means they spend a huge portion of their day foraging for food like sea urchins, clams, mussels, and crabs. They are one of the few mammals that use tools. They'll use a rock to crack open the hard shells of their prey, often resting the rock on their chest while they float on their back. After a long day of hunting and grooming, a safe and secure rest is absolutely essential. The hand-holding and kelp-wrapping behaviors are what make this possible. It allows them to fully relax and conserve energy without the constant fear of being lost at sea. This behavior also highlights their critical role as a keystone species. By eating sea urchins, sea otters control the urchin population. Without otters, sea urchin populations can explode and decimate kelp forests, creating what are called urchin barrens. These kelp forests are vital ecosystems that provide food and shelter for hundreds of other marine species. So, by simply existing and carrying out their natural behaviors, sea otters help maintain the health and balance of their entire coastal environment. The image of them holding hands isn't just cute. It's a symbol of a species that is intricately woven into the fabric of its ecosystem. Unfortunately, these incredible animals faced near extinction due to the fur trade in the 18th and 19th centuries. Their populations plummeted, and they vanished from much of their historical range. Thanks to conservation efforts and legal protections, they have made a remarkable comeback in some areas. But they still face threats from oil spills, entanglement in fishing gear, and disease. An oil spill is particularly devastating because it coats their fur, destroying its insulating properties and leading to hypothermia. So, the next time you see a picture or a video of sea otters holding hands, you'll know the full story. It's not just an adorable quirk, it's a masterful adaptation for survival, a testament to their strong social bonds, and a vital behavior for raising the next generation. It's a beautiful example of how animal behavior is often much more complex and meaningful than it appears on the surface. It's a behavior that allows them to rest, to find safety in numbers, and to endure the challenges of life in the open ocean. From a mother and pup staying connected to a whole raft bracing against the currents, this simple act of holding hands is at the heart of what it means to be a sea otter. It reminds us of the power of community and connection, a lesson we can all appreciate. Thanks for watching. If you found this as fascinating as I did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the amazing world of animals. See you next time.